This threat is not imminent. It is upon us. The Colonial Pipe ransomware attack is a stark example of what we have been saying for some time now.
Yeah, it's well past imminent. It's now. Sobering words from the Homeland Security chief after the ransomware attack that shut down the Colonial Pipeline, or all but shut it down. The attack has left a growing number of gas stations along the East Coast without fuel. On Tuesday, a different ransomware group followed through in its threat to release the personnel files of D.C. police officers after negotiators failed to meet their demands. Joining us now is a former hacker, David Kenney. He's the founder of Trusted SEC and Binary Defense. So you say this is a huge wake-up call, David. Why?
When we look at what's going on with these ransomware groups, they're getting fed a ton of money because of all these ransoms. And with that, their capabilities continue to increase, which means that they're getting into larger and larger companies, organizations, and obviously what we saw with Colonial, the ability to impact our pipelines. And so it's a major threat that we face. And there's a lot of companies now that are just being hit by these groups, and they're just getting millions and millions and millions of dollars, which thus they're turning into their full-fledged businesses. They're turning into even better capabilities in the future. So, you think of large organizations are all susceptible to this now. Small to medium-sized businesses are susceptible to this now. And our critical infrastructure, most importantly, which produces our energy, our water treatment facilities, all of these things are in play now when it comes to these types of groups.
So tell us how these happen. If you can talk about the phishing attacks and these drive-by download attacks.
Yeah, when you look at how these types of attacks occur, they start very targeted. And this is very different than the ransomware we saw maybe 5 or 10 years ago, where they would try targeting, 50 companies at a time or 100 companies at a time. These folks have dedicated resources that go and build essentially dossiers on organizations, and they start targeting key employees or, creating websites that have, code on them that once executed give access to those systems. And they're focusing on targeting these individual companies. And what happens is that when one person gets hacked, let's just say one employee in the sales department gets hacked, it opens up the entire floodgates because they start moving to different systems, and then they maximize the amount of damage. They go after their backups, they go after their finance systems, they go after their HR systems, their manufacturing processes, they go after everything within that organization, and then they steal all that data, and then they encrypt that data. So you're getting a double whammy where all of your data is now taken by hackers. And now your entire business and your backups are completely gone. And usually the only way that you have to recover is paying these ransoms.
Well, and to that point, that is what many companies are choosing to do. Do you think the company in this case pays the ransom?
We see this all the time. And unfortunately, we don't deal specifically with paying the ransoms. We basically have to, make contact with a third party that then does the negotiations with these ransomware groups. But we deal with these incident response cases all the time. In the specific group, DarkSide, from the Colonial one, we have had a number of customers that have been hit by this. Their entire organization completely brought to a standstill. And literally, they have two decisions. One, rebuild from scratch, which can take months, completely destroy their entire business, or pay the ransom, which, they're paying $3 or $4 or $5 million at times to recover and to actually, keep their businesses alive and running. It's a really dark situation that we're in right now. And these companies really need to focus on strengthening their defenses from a cybersecurity perspective, because it's coming for everybody. It's not just, a specific industry vertical. It's literally any type of company, any type of organization of size and nature.
Should be a wake-up call so that there isn't a incredibly expensive wake-up call for companies. David, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you.